Well, good evening back at the Jackson Carlisle Gymnasium here at the Jock Sutherland Classic. Gary Ball, William Warfield. We're set for the second game tonight. That will be Paul Dunbar and Louisville Central battling here tonight. We're just about set for the starting lineups. First, it will be the Yellow Jackets of Louisville Central. They're coached by Doug Bibby. They come in at 11-6, one of the top teams in their region. And it'll be Brandon Wells. And, William, that's the kid I was telling you about, the senior guard averaging 15 points. He is a really good shooting guard, Brandon Wells. And then you got Devin Furman.
Yeah, Wells is considered kind of the Ulyss of the Louisville Central basketball team. He's got about the same size as Tyler, and does some good things out there for him.
Davon Thompson is another starter, a guard for the Central Yellow Jackets as well. Anthony Southers, the senior, 6'4", will start. And as we said, Doug Bibby's the head coach of Central, so Southers is their big guy, and they will need him tonight because we know what big Dontel Brown is able to do for Dunbar, William. That kid is a load down there.
Yeah, Brown can get it done. Williams, another one of those guys that'll get it done there for Dunbar. And Jordan Lewis, the guy that just introduced there, Gary.
Yeah, Jordan Lewis. Then you got Tavion Hollingsworth, Justin Kelly, Darius Williams, Dontel Brown. That's your starters for Dunbar. They come, how about this, 20-4 Dunbar. Doug Bibby's team, as I said, has played a really strong schedule. All their losses are to ranked teams. Same can be said for Dunbar. I mean, the losses are to quality opponents. So this looks to be a good one here tonight. The first one was a dynamo. You got to go back and watch that, folks, when you get a chance, either tonight or tomorrow. We got Mercer County Lafayette coming up at 8 o'clock. But, William, that's one of the best ball games you and I have covered on PrepSpin all season. Overtime thriller. Carson Williams poured in 43 points for Owen County.
Yeah, that was a classic game. I've been fortunate enough to watch a couple classics back-to-back with Mercer County and West Jessamine, and now this one here. And, just a great performance by a superstar.
And it looks like Deron Douglas is going to get the start instead of Dominique Gaines. So those are your starters: Wells, Furman, Thompson, Southers, and Douglas. We're just about set for basketball. It's Louisville Central and Dunbar here tonight from the Jock Sutherland Classic. It'll be Dontel Brown going up for Dunbar, and jumping it up be Anthony Southers for Louisville Central. Central in the yellow and Dunbar in the white with the red. Brown wins the tap, and coming down with it is Jordan Lewis. Lewis looking in the corner, bounces over there to Hollingsworth. Lob down low, knocked away by Central. Coming out of there with it is Wells. Wells leads it out with the left hand, laying it up in is Thompson.
You don't want to be too cute in this ball game because both teams can answer on both ends.
Three-point attempt won't go for Williams out of the corner. Quickly the other way, Central, and laying it up and in is Furman. 4-0 Central. Did I tell you Louisville Central's pretty good, Mr. Warfield?
Well, not only are they good, but they're really,
quick.
really quick.
Yeah, Kelly into the paint, kicks it over to Darius Williams. Williams right elbow, little fadeaway, and in and out, rebounded by Thompson. Here comes Davon Thompson, and he tries to go over to his teammate in the corner, Furman, and throws it out of bounds.
Yeah, Dunbar probably rethinking their strategy just a little bit here.
I would be.
Hey, we gotta run, guys.
After those two bust-away lay-ins. 4-0, Yellow Jackets on top. Gary Ball, William Warfield here. Second game tonight from the Jock Sutherland Classic. Coming up, and here's a long shot there by Tavion Hollingsworth. Won't go. Stuck back up and in by Williams, and he's fouled. The basket will count for Darius.
I love Darius Williams. He's been a guy that has every single game he gives you 110%, and such a talent.
So Williams will try to complete the three-point play, and he rolls it in there. 4-3. Boy, that cuts into that 4-0 lead to hurt when you get a three-point play by Darius Williams. Brandon Wells brings it across for the Louisville Central Yellow Jackets. Wells, Kelly on him defensively. Kelly's got those great feet, of course. One of the best soccer players in the state. Going to corner now to Thompson. Thompson gets a pick from Southers now. Thompson lines up to three. Off the iron. No, there's Darius Williams climbing over everybody. He went right over top of Anthony Southers to get that rebound.
You know who his game resembles the most?
Who's that?
Scottie Pippen. I see a lot of Scottie Pippen and Darius Williams.
Couldn't get that floater to go off the right side. Rebounded by Central. Coming in the front court is Douglas. Douglas looking for cutters. Douglas with the left hand down the paint. Stops and he traveled with it. Turnover by Central. They lead 4-3 here in the first quarter. Coming up later to be Mercer County and Lafayette. Of course, we want to thank all of our sponsors here at the Jock Sutherland Classic. We'll tell you about those fine folks after this Dunbar possession. That's Tavion Hollingsworth to Brown. Williams over to Kelly. Looking out top to Hollingsworth. And looks like we got a clock problem again. Today's game from the Jock Sutherland Classic brought to you by White, Greer, and Maggard. Also, All Sports in the Fayette Mall, UK Sports Medicine, Rafferty's Restaurants with a special as you. Gary Ball, William Moorfield, and it is 4-3 Central. They got a clock malfunction here, which seems to be about every game we do at Lafayette. I hope they get that figured out by the district.
What it is the electric cord down there was stepped on, and when it's stepped on, it flashes everything off.
Can I make a confession?
What's that?
I did that one time.
You did that? Yeah.
Yeah, I
think you did that when we were on broadcast one time, didn't we?
Yeah. It happened to me.
Yeah.
4-3, 5:48 here in the first quarter. Louisville Central with the first 4 points of the game, and then Darius Williams with a three-point play for Dunbar. They've got possession. They hand it now to Jordan Lewis. Lewis into the paint area, hands it back to Hollingsworth. Now they go now. Here's Darius Williams back over to Hollingsworth. Out top to Lewis, lines up a deep three, in and out. Rebounded though by Brown. He turns and puts it up and rolls out. He's fouled. Dontel Brown going to the offensive glass. The big fella. Plays football there at Dunbar as well. Do you know that?
Yeah, definitely.
Big lineman.
He's a good one too.
Brown, only a junior. Free throw short. Need about another foot on that one.
What's up with all the? What is that spandex or what is that? He's got the long leggings on.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure. Free throw knocked down, but keeps the muscles warm maybe. Ball knocked away there by Kelly. We're tied at 4. Central got the first 4, and Dunbar scored the last 4. We got 5:32 to go in the first period. Owen County won the first one in overtime, 75-71 over a very good North Laurel team. Carson Williams, 43 points, 10 rebounds. Brandon Wells dribbles out of the triple team, throws it down low, picked up, give it to Southers. He hangs, won't go, but a foul called, and it's going to go on Darius. That's one problem Darius Williams does have, though. He tends to get in foul trouble a lot.
Well, you see that a lot of the bigger guys in the 11th region, that seems to be the story this year. Darius Williams, Dunbar, Trey King with LCA, and then Whitman with Lexington Catholic, for example. I think the only big guy that doesn't really get into a lot of foul trouble is the big man for Lafayette in the 11th.
Ross Jenkins, yeah.
Ross Jenkins, yeah.
Well, there's a reason he's a Governor Scholar. He's smart. Brown can't handle the pass, picked up by Southers. 5-4 Central leads. They got the ball back. That is Douglas. And shot put up and in down low by Thompson. Long pass to Williams, and he throws it way out to Kelly out near the midcourt stripe. Darius Williams fakes the three, goes baseline, hang, blocked away by Southers, and picked back up. They skip it over to Tavion Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth to the basket, finger roll no, and rebounded down low by Thompson. 7-4, Central on top. They give it over to Brandon Wells, our leading scorer. 15-point average has not scored here so far in this first period. We're not quite halfway through the first quarter. In the corner it goes now, and that three-pointer is shot by Douglas. Won't go, whistle, and we're going to have a foul called against Central.
They got the grill cooking here at Lafayette. That food's starting to smell good up here.
Yes, sir. Might have to partake in some of that at halftime. 4:20 in the first, 7-4. Yellow Jackets on top. Lewis goes over to Darius Williams, out to Justin Kelly. Kelly bounces now. Hollingsworth turns and scores. Tavion Hollingsworth. Nice jumper there. Quick to the way. Wells blocked there by Brown and picked up by Justin Kelly. Kelly hit. No, now they're going to call the foul there. Late whistle on Wells. 7-6. Central on top. Central, a team that's talented enough, no doubt, to win their region.
Yeah, they're showing right now that they can run with Dunbar. Can they keep that going throughout the game, though? That's the question.
Yeah, Dunbar tends to wear you down, don't they? Lewis over to Williams. Down low, Brown. He turns a little short. Rebounded by Suthers. He kicks it out now to Douglas. Douglas working in on Lewis. High off glass and put it down. Well, he almost threw that over the backboard.
So the other thing is Central's finding ways to hit those shots.
9-6. Jackets on top of the Bulldogs. Dunbar Bulldogs. Hollingsworth to Lewis. Skip over to Williams. Lines up the three. Bullseye. That's 6 for Darius Williams, the senior. Quickly the other way. Furman off glass, up and in. Furman with 4 points now. 11-9. Central back out on top by 2. Williams spinning, hanging, and we're going to have a whistle foul call before the shot.
Yeah, on the floor.
Broadcasting the Jock Sutherland Classic here on PrepSpin. White Greer Maggard, our title sponsor. Gary Ball, William Warfield. And thanks to all the folks here at Lafayette, Coach Mendenhall. Right side, Hollingsworth, jumper good. Boy, that was silky smooth by Tavion Hollingsworth. He's got 4 now. We're tied at 11 at the 3-minute mark.
White Greer Maggard, a big sponsor of Dunbar. We know that for sure. And
shot won't go there for Furman, but he'll go to the line as he was fouled. You're right, White Greer and Maggard. They honored him there earlier in the year, I believe at halftime of one of the games. They brought out Dr. White and some of the folks from White Greer and Maggard and honored them for all their contributions to Paul Dunbar High School.
One that you see there on the wall is the video board that they've got over there at Dunbar now. White Greer and Maggard helped put that up there.
5 for Evan Furman, junior, 14-point average. He's got 5. And he's missed the second one. He's given the lead back to the Jackets of Central, though, 12-11, 2:50 here in the first quarter. Gary Ball, William Moorfield. Swing it around, good perimeter movement there. Jordan Brown has just checked in. He's got the ball. Over to Lewis, lines it up, and it's off the rim, no. And flying through with the rebound is Thompson. Good lob right side and picked up Suthers and knocked away there by Lewis. It'll go back to Louisville Central.
A lot of fast-paced action in this one. That's one thing that we kind of missed the last game. If there was any downfall to it, it wasn't as fast as this one is. But these guys are out there like.
But we did see a 43-point performance by Mr. Williams.
Yeah, that was big time. These guys out there are like race cars.
I know
right
it.
now.
I know it. We're out at the Churchill Downs right now, or Keeneland. Racehorse basketball. Kick way out top, goes off the hand there of Douglas. Gets it back, stolen by Lewis. Lewis numbers back though for Central. Well, they get back quick on defense. Deep in the corner goes to Hollingsworth. Couldn't handle the pass. Brown. Back it goes Tavion deep out of the corner. And a three-pointer knocked down by Tavion. That's 7 now for Hollingsworth. At 14-12. Quickly the other way, Furman. He kicks it deep in the corner. And there's a three-pointer knocked down by Douglas.
Hollingsworth, he's got an offer on the table right now from Clemson, I'm understanding.
7 for Hollingsworth. That three-pointer by Douglas gives him 5. It's going to be a travel call there on Dunbar. Louisville Central 15, Dunbar 14. Another good one here in the first quarter. Minute 48 to go between Lexington Paul Dunbar and Louisville Central. Owen County beat North Laurel 75-71 in overtime. Coming up, it'll be Mercer County, and they will take on Lafayette after this one. Triple header. William and I said, hey, Billy, Ernie Banks wanted to play 2. Well, let's play 3.
It's a busy Saturday for us, isn't it? But I tell you what, you couldn't ask for 3 better games, I don't think.
Great matchups. Thompson in the corner. Here's the three-pointer knocked down by Furman. That's 8 for Furman. And 18-14. Central's lead back to 4. Minute 32. Corner it goes now to Vince Clark, I believe we just checked. And banked in there on using glass. And that was Brown, I believe, wasn't it?
Jordan Brown,
yeah. Brown knocking that one down. Downtown Brown. Ball knocked away by Brown, and it'll go to Dunbar.
Good defense there. 18-16 our score.
Hollingsworth, some collision, and that's going to be a blocking foul called on Central. It's going to go on Louisville Central's Terrell Davis.
Did they count the basket?
Nope, I don't think so. Well, they must have, I guess.
I was gonna say, how can they not count the
Okay,
basket?
gotcha. That's 9 for Hollingsworth. Minute 9, it's 18 all. Free throw short. Nice rebound there by Thompson. Well, he got up, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Thompson, David looking for his teammates. Now gets it back to Douglas. Douglas. Lob down low, great catch. Hanging and ball knocked away and out of bounds, though. Tell you what, that was great defense there by Dunbar, wasn't it, William?
It was. And Dunbar continues to, they're not struggling at all right now, but they continue to have issues with this Louisville Central team.
Furman's shot wouldn't go. He had an open good look at a three, and a foul's going to be called on Dunbar. We're tied at 18, 46 seconds here in the first quarter on PrepSpin. White Greer Maggard. Here comes Kelly back in, and going out will be Brown, who just picked up his second foul.
Central's got kind of like, it almost looks like the Cleveland Cavaliers C on the front of their jerseys.
Going LeBron on us.
Going LeBron, yep.
Pass deep in backcourt. Douglas able to retrieve it there in front of the younger Brown, Jordan. Well, the smaller Brown. Dontel is 6'7". Wells out top, Davis. In the corner, Douglas going baseline. Ball stripped out of there and stolen by Clark. Vince Clark leads it out to Hollingsworth, and he banks it, no. Tapped up, no. And coming down with it, Kelly with the left hand, no. And still knocked out of bounds. Central will get the ball with 16.6 in the first. 18-18. Another good ball game here at the Jock Sutherland Classic. We're tied at 18.
Did you see that the reason why the NFL changed the number of the Super Bowl? It's Super Bowl 50, but L would be the number for it, right? If they continue with the Roman tradition, right?
Yep.
Well, they changed it because they didn't want people to think that the
deep three-pointer knocked down by Douglas.
I was going to let you have that three there, but they changed it because they didn't want people to think that the Browns and the Lions were playing.
21-18 as Douglas hits the deep three there at the end of the first quarter. It's 21-18. Yellow Jackets on top of one of the really, some polls have Dunbar number 1 in the state, number 2, depending on the poll. 21-18 will return to the Jock Sutherland Classic with Louisville Central on top of Dunbar here.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S Sports. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter. Locally owned and operated since 1972.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm Other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White Greer and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White Greer and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White Greer and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
Louisville Central with a great first quarter, 21 points. They lead the state's number 2 ranked Dunbar Bulldogs 21-18. Here to start the second quarter, Gary Ball, William Warfield here on the White Greer Maggard High School basketball game of the week. And Dominique Gaines has come in, the senior for Central. He puts it in play now. In backcourt there to Douglas. Deron Douglas, not Darren Douglas, Deron. Down low, Southers reverses it up and in. Nice move by Anthony Southers. Southers are calling him, I guess. 23-18, Central by 5 here to start the second quarter. Brown. Vince Clark, instant offense off that bench for the Bulldogs. What a great score here is. That's Lewis. Kicks it over to Vince Clark. He lines up that three. Got it. That's what I was talking about. He heard me right on cue. Vince Clark with the trifecta. 23-21. That cut Central lead to 2. Douglas.
I wonder if Douglas is kin to Darren Douglas. It'd be kind of interesting.
Yes, it would be. In the corner it goes, and that three-pointer won't go there for Gaines. Pulling out of there is Tavion Hollingsworth. Dunbar can tie and take the lead with a 3 here. 7-minute mark of the first half. Hollingsworth fakes to the ball. Goes over to Brown, over to Vince Clark. Line up another three. Back no. But what a great rebound by Lewis. Man, he got up for that rebound.
He wanted that.
He wanted that ball bad.
He could have made change for $1 up there on the top of the backboard.
Kick
if he
and
wanted
get
to.
up. Another one of those great players for Dunbar. Brown fakes. Back to Lewis. Kicks it over to Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth over to Brown. Brown lines it up, and that's back of the rim. No. There's Kelly battling. He sticks it up and rolls it in. Justin Kelly went to work that time, didn't he?
Kelly getting it done.
We're tied. Out of the corner, Furman, and back of the rim, no. There's Lewis getting up again, but coming down with it is Louisville Central. They kick it deep in the corner to Douglas. Douglas back out to Davis. Gaines goes down low to Southers, and he is going to be fouled. That will send Anthony to the line. 23-23. Another tight one here in the Jock Sutherland Classic, and the first one was a classic. Overtime win 75-71 for Owen County behind Carson Williams, their All-Stater, Mr. Basketball candidate, 43 points. That's pretty good productivity.
Well, he was on a stage today, and certainly
Southers and lays it up and in.
Certainly put on one heck of a performance.
25-23, Central with the 2-point lead back. Bounce back out to Lewis. 6-minute mark of the first half. Give it up to Hollingsworth. Comes over to Lewis. Lewis, right side, and there's a three-pointer knocked down. That young man just checked in there. That's Jared Gadd, the freshman. So Gadd got in under the radar on me, but knocks down a big three. 26-25, Dunbar the lead. Southers moves in on Kelly. Triple team, and we're going to have a jump ball called there to time up was the freshman Gadd.
Well, you get some great minutes in there right now from Gadd.
Look at Gadd here and see the particulars on that young man. He is 6'2", and as we said, a freshman.
Playing like that.
No fear, knocked down the big three. At this point in the season, though, we're in February. They only have a handful of games that these freshmen are no longer freshmen. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Lewis, and knocks it down. Jordan Lewis first basket, and he makes it Dunbar 28, Central 25. Doug Bibby wants a timeout. 5:12 to go in the first half, and he's seen his ball club give up the lead here to Dunbar 28-25 behind a three by the freshman Gadd, and a jumper there by Jordan Lewis, 28-25, 5:12 to go here. We'll return to the Jock Sutherland Classic here. Lafayette High School, the score is 28-25. The lead is for Paul Dunbar. They're looking for their 21st win. We'll return here after this timeout to the Jock Sutherland Classic.
I'm not happy with my teeth. They're not straight enough.
Let me fix them for you.
No. You are not White, Greer, and Maggard.
I'm sort of like White, Greer, and Maggard. I'm local, love smiles, love to fix things.
No.
Sorta you isn't you. White, Greer, and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
Gary Ball with William Warfield back at the Jock Sutherland Classic, where Louisville Central is facing Paul Dunbar, and the Bulldogs lead 28-25, 5:12 to go. First half action. Central just called the timeout. Doug Bibby didn't like what he was seeing out there. Thompson and Brandon Wells. They get Wells back in the ball game. He's been held scoreless, or leading scorer. He's got the ball out near the Big L. Wells into the paint. Bounces over there to his teammate. Shot put up and in by Central's Darrell Stevens, who just checked. Stevens in the ball game, and he's like Vince Clark for Dunbar. He's instant offense. Hollingsworth. Paint over to Gadd. Lets the three rip again. This one's off the mark. Nice rebound pulled down there by Thompson. Ooh. Wells and two players hit each other, Gadd and Brown. Ball knocked away and coming out of there with it. Gadd might have been knocked a little loopy. Shot won't go, and there's Hollingsworth with the grab and put it up and in, and we have to call a timeout because this young man, Gadd, is shaking up a little bit.
Is he all right? No.
Looks like he might have got hit in the head.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like he...
one of those concussion situations, possibly.
Yeah, coach is going to set him down.
Yeah. 30-27. Boy, that was a nice tick back there by Holly with the young player injured. We all missed out, but Hollingsworth now with 11. 30-27.
That was his own teammate, too. Ran into
Yeah, it was
him.
Brown.
They were both
Jordan
going
Brown.
after the ball. Giving them checking them out over here on the sideline. But
Wells looking. Comes over in the corner now to Stevens. Back over to Stevens. Stevens backs it back out of there. Looking for Wells and kicks it in the corner to Douglas. Excuse me, to Gaines. Southers powers it up, no, and coming out there with a Dunbar. Brown leads it out to Hollingsworth. Crossover. Hollingsworth with a scoop. Comes out of there. How'd that come out? Anthony Southers with the rebound. Stevens into the paint. He's going to be fouled on a reach with 3:48 to go in the first half, and Dunbar leading 30-27.
is 13, is that Kelly?
Yes.
Okay. Kelly had a block that last trip down the floor for Central. And, that what led out to a Hollingsworth layup miss there, but Kelly on the defense with that block.
Douglas looking to put it in play. Skips it way out top now to Furman. Furman had a great first quarter with 8 points. Wells, our leading scorers, pounding. He doesn't have a point yet. Pass, and that's going to be a clear out down low. Call that on Central.
Fouls on Furman, his second.
2 fouls now on Devin Furman. 17 fouls now against Central. 3 minutes, 37 seconds, and Dunbar has a lead in leather, 30-27. Kelly goes over to Hollingsworth, left side free throw line extended. Kick it back out to Trey Homer, just checked in. Sophomore.
Somebody turned the heat up here in the gym. Starting to get a little toasty up here.
Kelly gives to Lewis, back to Brown. 3:12 to go in the first half. Good ball game, William. 30-27. Central led most of that first quarter at 21-18 to end of the first. Dunbar's battled back, of course, behind their all-state candidate Tavion Hollingsworth.
The second quarter's been kind of quiet though. It's kind of settled down a little bit.
Kick it out top, and there's a shot won't go there for Homer. Central running with it. Kick it deep in the corner. Over there to Douglas. Wells goes to Furman. Furman. Back now to Douglas. 2:30 to go, first half. Central being very patient with this possession here. Over to Furman. Goes baseline. Furman. Good pass, and then a layup there. Nicely done by Douglas. By Thompson, excuse me. It was Thompson. 30-29. Dunbar by 1. Brown over to Hollingsworth. Lewis. Central packing in the 2-3 zone now. Kelly. Good pass, good hands there by Tavion Hollingsworth to haul that high pass in from Kelly. Minute 52 in the first half. 30-29. Another tight one here at the Jock Sutherland Classic, just like Owen County and North Laurel that went into overtime, and 75-71 running Rebs ran away with that one. 30-29 here. Dunbar. Well, they are definitely honoring this possession.
Yeah, they're taking their time with it. 1:30 left to go here in the first half.
Just swinging it around the 2-3 zone. Hollingsworth looks at Wells. Down to a minute 20 to go. Dunbar by 1, 30-29. Gary Ball, William Moorfield. Hollingsworth's got it baseline. Reverses it and put it up and in. Nice move there by Hollingsworth.
They got the shot they wanted.
He's got 15 now. Central. Furman. Wells. Over it goes now to Douglas. And high arcing three. Good. That's 11 for Deron Douglas. 32-32. Central and Dunbar tied with 48 seconds here in the first half. Could all three ball games be overtime games tonight? That'd be some kind of record, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it is. You still have me thinking about Darren and Deron.
Deron Douglas. Darren's probably watching unless he's doing a Georgetown game or something.
You know, they maybe can. I'm thinking that they might be.
Kelly down to 23 seconds, goes over to Hollingsworth. Brown, Lewis, swing it back to Kelly. You know, we haven't seen a whole lot of Darius Williams in this second quarter.
You're right. He has. He's been sitting down for a while.
Lewis, 6 seconds. Skip it out to Hollingsworth. He goes into the paint, hangs, banks it, no, but he's fouled with 1.8 seconds before halftime, and Hollingsworth can go to the line and possibly give Dunbar the lead here at halftime. We're tied at 32.
And Coach Jock might just be pacing his team, giving them some breathers and say, hey, the second half.
He might have picked up a second foul as well.
Yeah.
Hollingsworth can't get that free throw to drop, and coming back in, Vince Clark. Going out will be Trey Homer, the sophomore. 32 all, 1.8 seconds. And at the line, Hollingsworth to try to give Dunbar a 1-point lead here. Central will only have 1.8 seconds here before halftime, and he got it. 16 for Tavion, 33-32. Long pass to Wells. He catches and throws, and it's off the mark. So we head to the locker rooms. It's Paul Dunbar 33, Louisville Central 32 here at halftime, and we'll return here on the PrepSpin, the White Greer Maggard High School Basketball Game of the Week here, 33-32. Dunbar leads Louisville Central at halftime.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Kentucky's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
Hi, I'm Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
Your Marine Corps' way of life is to defend the American way of life. every day. No matter where we serve, we take a stand for our nation, for each other, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S. Sports. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Back here at the Jock Sutherland Classic, William Warfield alongside my tag team partner today who's got your play call, Mr. Gary Ball. And Gary, big first half for both teams, 33-32 our score right now. Dunbar with a 1-point lead.
Yeah, it's been a great first half. Central jumped out. They were up 21-18 first quarter, doing a great job getting out in transition and getting behind Dunbar, which you and I were talking there during the break. That doesn't happen often. You don't find too many teams that could run with Dunbar, but this Central team can. It's 33-32 here at halftime. Hollingsworth hit the free throw there with 1 second left before halftime to give Dunbar this 1-point lead.
You're seeing probably two of the very best conditioned teams, I think, as far as running up and down the court in these two teams that we see right here. And it's going to come down to a thriller. You know, we're probably going to have another close one like we did that first game. But let's talk about some of the scoring leaders there in the first half. Duron Douglas, Douglas, 8 points there. Devin Furman, big guy, 6'4", 8 points for him as well. 5 points for Anthony Suthers. Davian Thompson had 6 points in the first half. Dominique Gaines, 3 points. And Darrell Stevens with 2 there for Louisville Central. Looking down, not too many turnovers for either team. You had 7 for Central, only 3 for Dunbar. But talk about the scoring leaders there for Dunbar. Hollingsworth, Tavion got that big offer on the table right now from Clemson and some other D1 schools. 14 total points in the first half. 6 in the first half there for Darius Williams, who sat down most of the second quarter as he had 2 big fouls on him. Coach Chalk just kind of resting him up a little bit. Vincent Clark with 3. Gadd, the freshman, had 3 before he ran into his teammate, and he set out probably 3 or 4 minutes there that second quarter of play, but 3 there as he came in and made a little impact. 2 for Justin Kelly.
But had 5 rebounds.
Yeah, 5 rebounds, and then Jordan Lewis with 2, and Dontel Brown with 1. So a lot of scoring there for Dunbar, kind of spread around. Tavian Hollingsworth definitely leading the way with a 14, but the rest of them was kind of spread around there. Big first half, Gary.
It was. I enjoyed it. 33-32 here at halftime. We're just a couple of minutes away from the second half. Of course, join us at 8 o'clock. Coming up at 8 o'clock, it'll be Mercer County, 24-0, number 1 ranked team in the state, taking on Lafayette. Lafayette a little bit of a skid here lately. They were 15-3. They've lost a few in a row here. They fell to Lexington Christian last night. Christian put 5 players in double figures, so great job by LCA in that one, William. And we'll step out here, come back in a minute or so with the second half tip. Central and Dunbar. Dunbar leading 33-32.
S-R-P-R-O-R-T-S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
I am Lee, and I'm happy with my smile.
And I'm other Lee, and I ain't happy with my smile.
I went to White, Greer, and Maggard, and they fixed my smile for me.
And I never smile, and that's why I'm having some alone time here at dinner.
I love that I can go to White, Greer, and Maggard with all my questions.
And I love that I don't have to brush my teeth at night.
Don't be like this, me. Go to White, Greer, and Maggard for a picture-perfect smile.
We're back here with the second half. Gary Ball, William Warfield, Dunbar led by Tavian Hollingsworth with 14 points. They lead it here at half. We're getting ready to start the second half. Devin Furman knocked down a couple of big shots, but, it was Deron Douglas, the big story for Central. He hit 3 threes in that first half, 11. And we got another good one here, as they call in the South, slobber knocker, Mr. Warfield, 33-32 here. Dunbar and Central. Dunbar leading by 1 as we start the second half. And we got Mercer County, and they got a lot of fans in there already getting ready for their 24-0 team to take on the host team Lafayette.
And you just made my day. You just referenced wrestling, and I appreciate that. A slobber knocker. That's exactly what we got here. A good old-fashioned barn burner, and this one should come down to the wire, Gary Ball.
Had a Mercer County fan in front of us ask us about the last game. Owen County won that one in overtime, 75-71. Carson Williams pumped in 43.
And when he realized who you were, Gary, I thought he was about to faint there in front of us. As guy's a big fan of yours.
Well, great. Hopefully I got a couple of them. Here's Brandon Wells for the Yellow Jackets. I like Doug Bibby, William. He does a great job with his Central team. He really does. Remember, he took them to pretty deep into the state tournament a few years ago.
Yeah, and he's pretty. He's not pretty, Gary Ball, but he's kind of animated over there on the sideline. I like how he coaches.
Yeah, Thompson missed that shot, gets it back, and we're going to have a timeout by Doug Bibby, so Central will retain possession with 7 minutes and 32 seconds to go here in this third quarter. That's a good timeout right there because you retain possession. That's critical at this point when you're down a point to this good Dunbar team who's been ranked number 1. And really, a lot of this season, Dunbar's been ranked number 1. I mean, most of the season when you really look at the polls.
Yeah, right now they've got Christian County in some of the polls.
I don't get that.
I don't either. Christian County doesn't play. I mean, you could have a dispute between Mercer and Dunbar, like I said earlier in the first game, but I don't think that there's a dispute when you had to have Christian County in there. I just don't think they play anywhere as near the schedule that Dunbar or Mercer County
I'm going to back you up on that. I'm looking at Dunbar, okay? They have wins this year over, of course, ranked teams like crazy. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to look at as we get the possession, I'm going to look at their schedule.
Well,
and tell you
I saw one of their biggest wins, and that was the Trinity in the Traditional Bank Classic over there at Catholic.
Here's a long three knocked down there by Furman. That's 11 for Furman, and it's 35-33. Jackets start like they did the ball game, don't they?
Yep. And you know who I would also place in the top 5 right now?
Who's that?
As far as Central Kentucky teams, Henry Clay, no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah, and Scott County. 35 all, and the tough shot by Hollingsworth, pulled out of there by Dontel Brown, the big fella. Brown kicks it down and picked off there. Nicely done by Thompson. Thompson for Central gives to Wells, lines up a long shot, and it's off the rim. No, there's Brown tapping it back to Williams. He leads it out to Hollingsworth. Hollingsworth, a great ball handler, gives it to Darius Williams. Deep three out of the corner, knocks it down.
That's his second 3 in the ball. Oh, they're going to say his foot was on the line.
Oh,
that's 2 from way back for Williams.
They put 3 on the scoreboard. They may change that.
Well, the announcer may have had it wrong. He said a 2-point basket when he announced it. But
Douglas hands it back out top. Here's a little floater by Thompson. No. And picked up there by Dunbar. 38-35, Bulldogs. 6:22 to go in the third. Mercer County and Lafayette coming up after this one. Here's Hollingsworth, 12-footer, only went about 11. Pulled out of there by Central, and that's Southers pulling it out of there. Down low, off glass, knocked down there by Thompson. David Thompson makes it 38-37. Like I said, Hollingsworth down the lane and puts it up and in. They're going to say a foul before the shot. Like I said back in the first quarter, William, I don't think either team's going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to be pretty much tight throughout.
Yeah, you know, these two teams right here match up very, very good together, and it's because of the speed element of this ball game.
Exactly. Here's a steal. Speaking of that speed, they lead it out now to Central, and that's Furman, and he's got 13 now with that lay-in. The lead is back for Central, 39-38 over Dunbar with 5:46 here in the third quarter.
We'll have
Darius Williams needs some equipment attention. Actually, he's bleeding on his leg there.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like he got scratched over there.
Might have had maybe had a scab on there, and it was broken open somehow. So he will go out, and Brown will come in. The trainer will clean up the leg there of Darius Williams, the outstanding player for Dunbar, 6'4" senior who averages about 18 a game and has 9 in this one. Boy, you know what you like about Hollingsworth, William? The way that young man can take it to the basket and make any kind of shot, hanging in the air, falling away, whatever. He is so great at that.
He's good at adjusting his shot and making good on it.
Dontel Brown on the finger roll. Dontel Brown makes it 40-39. Right side is Douglas for Central. Backs it back out of there. Douglas into the paint. Trying to go to Wells, and Lewis is going to knock it out of bounds. Boy, I tell you, Jordan Lewis has some hops, doesn't he?
The guy over sitting in the front row over there probably just got pretty scared over that.
Yep. You know, we saw Carson Williams in that first game, and we're going to see Will Hager, one of the top players in the state, for Mercer in this next game. And, of course, Ross Jenkins for Lafayette, Harrison Lane. Lane needs to be knocking down some threes. Here's a shot stopped and won't go for Thompson. Harrison struggled last night against Lexington Christian with only 2 points. But he had 26 in the first meeting with LCA. So yeah. I look for Harrison to light it up tonight because they're going up against Mercer County.
Well, you know, Mercer County can hit the 3 too.
Yes, they can. You're absolutely right. Backing up and missing the 3 there was Douglas. Ball knocked out by Dunbar.
I'm going to tell you, there's a kid on Mercer County's team. His name is Will Hager. And you'll probably see him matched up with Lane today, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Will can light that net up.
Yes, he can. All-time leading scorer right at Mercer.
I believe so. And then Falk is
Faulkner, yeah.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Trayvon Faulkner. To the basket, they've also got Malik Dow. Who started Ballard, transferred to Mercer County. They've also got Dylan James, who averages double figures, but Faulkner averages nearly 20.
Well, Faulkner threw down a Vince Carter dunk the other night at West Jessamine from the baseline that was just so nasty.
We're going to recommend Sports Center with Carson. Here's Darius Williams knocks it down from deep 3. That's 12 for Darius. He got the blood taken care of. 43-39. Foul called. Foul went on Brown. That's his second. Went on Jordan, not on Dontel. 43-39. Central down by 4. But it hasn't seemed to bother him so far in this game. Douglas thought about it. Backs it back out of there. Douglas into the paint area on Brown. Off glass. Boy, that's a tough shot there by Douglas. He's got 13 now. 43-41. As I said, Central going nowhere, Mr. Warfield. Nowhere.
And they won't.
Hanging around. Williams backs up. 17-footer. Front of the iron, no. Rebounded, pulled out there by Douglas. Douglas wants to take it himself. Crossing down on Lewis, hanging off glass, no good. There's a battling down low, stuck back and short there by Thompson, and coming out of there with it, Brown. Brown is one big dude. When he gets the ball, Central kids kind of flare away from him.
What do you think about the 7th, 11th, and 12th all in the top bracket?
Same bracket. Here's a jumper, won't go there for Lewis, picked up by Williams, lost the handle on it, and Kelly says, I'll take that, thank you very much. After all, I'm the great soccer player. 43-41. Justin Kelly, I like this kid. Here's Williams down low to Brown. Brown is fouled as he puts it up, and then they're going to say the foul, and the whistle is blown before the shot there. And it is 43-41 with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter. Gary Ball, William Warfield here on PrepSpin. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that Owen County game when they knocked off North Laurel 75-71 in overtime as much as William and I did, bringing it to you.
We got about, what did you say, about 2,500 fans here in attendance right now?
Yeah, it's a good crowd. Lewis backs up a little bit. Jordan directing traffic, 3:19 to go here in the third. Lewis into the paint area, dumps it back out to Tavion, and he traveled with it. Or either that or they called a moving screen. They called a moving screen.
I might be exaggerating that total a little bit, but there's a lot of people in this arena.
Yeah, I mean, Owen County, the running Rebs, they brought a lot of people here from Owenton. And Rob Ullery, their athletic trainer over there from UK Sports, said it's about an hour from here, about 30 minutes from Frankfort. 43-41, Central trying to tie it up here. And the elbow jumper won't go, but they get it back, and battling there with it is Anthony Suthers.
I've been to Owenton. I went through there by mistake one time.
Shot won't go. Yeah, you told me that, I think. Took a wrong turn or something?
Yep.
Hollingsworth. Tavion. He launches a three. Back of the rim, no. And boy, what a nice rebound by Louisville Central's Davon Thompson. Furman tried to take the European step. It doesn't work in high school. Turnover. But he's a nice little player. I like this Furman kid. He's got 13 in the game. He had 8 at halftime, and we got a timeout on the floor. Doug Bibby does a great job with Central, and, of course, Scott Chalk. Now we're going to have some chalk talk here on the sideline with Paul Dunbar. 43-41. They lead 2:37. You like that, chalk talk?
Chalk talk, yep.
There goes big Jerron Brown behind you there, the former Pittsburgh Big Ten, all Big Ten player from Bryan Station.
I think I worked with him a couple times with Football University.
Yep. He was I called his games when he played ABA ball with Kyle Macy, the Stallions, the ABA team.
Yeah.
I did those games that year with Lewis Stout, and he was one of our star players on that team, averaged about 20 a game.
Okay.
Nice guy, 230s. He's now coaching at LTMS middle school, head coach. He was an assistant at Bryan Station, as at Lexington Traditional Magnet School. We're just full of trivia here on PrepSpin, aren't we?
I tell you what, you could probably write a book on history here in Kentucky, I would imagine.
Well, what's helped me is moving to this area about 20 years ago, or whenever it was. I was known as I went in the Hall of Fame up in the Northern Kentucky, in 2002, in the Northern Kentucky Sports Hall of Fame. So I was known as a Northern Kentucky guy. But I tell you what, I really enjoy this area. Williams a lot. To the basket and missed it. And rebounded down low. There's Lewis to the basket. Throws it up. No. Flying through Bell. No. Lewis again. It rolls out. Battled around. Lewis again. And then tapped up and in by Williams. Almost dunked in there by Williams. 45-41. That's just crashing the boards right there.
Yeah, that's just who wants it the most.
Shot won't go there for Louisville Central's Thompson. And it looks like Hollingsworth might have taken a finger or a shot across the face there. 45-41. We apologize for the Lafayette technical situation here with the scoreboard, but they need to update this thing over at Lafayette. Hope they do. Here's down low. Hollingsworth blocked, and that looked clean from here, but a foul's going to be called. And I think Mr. Thompson thought he got all ball.
We need to tell Donnie Atkins that they need some funding for those new scoreboards over here.
I agree, and we appreciate Coach Mendenhall. He's always so hospitable to us over here at Lafayette, and also of course, athletic director. I think I saw Michael Kinney running around earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got one very solid athletic director.
Oh, they do. Football team went to the 6A state championship and fell a little short to that nationally ranked male team. But I tell you what, they got some studs coming back this fall. Don't you think they don't?
That's right.
Walker Wood, quarterback. He'll be one of the best quarterbacks in the state. They have one of the best tackles in the country, Dredrick Wills, and they have one of the best receivers in the state, Quentin Brown. They're going to be pretty darn good.
They suddenly became a farm system for Western Kentucky and the University of Kentucky here lately.
Hollingsworth got them both at the line, 47-41. That's equals Dunbar's biggest lead of 6. Minute 38 to go here, third quarter. Earlier today, Owen County behind Carson Williams with 43. In overtime, they beat a very good North Laurel team. Peyton Broughton poured in 30 for North Laurel, 75-71. Lob down low, so knocked away by Brown, picked up, coming out there with it, Justin Kelly. Give it over to Darius Williams. He lines up the 3. Off the iron, no. Tapped around, coming out of there with it is Wells. Wells, he leads it out to Gaines. Gaines, the left side, put it up in a nice, tough shot there by Dominic Gaines. Kind of had to twist and pirouette up in the air, didn't he?
Went from the right to the left hand.
Good call, 47-43. Williams back to Hollingsworth. Down to 55 seconds here in the third. 47-43. Hollingsworth puts it in. Hollingsworth. He has a total of 19 now. 49-43 Dunbar. With it is Deron Douglas. 38 seconds. He ends it to Brandon Wells. Wells has not scored. He's the Central's leading scorer, coming in with over 15-point average. He's got the ball right side, free throw line extended down to 28 seconds, and looks like the Yellow Jackets possibly want to take a last shot here in the third quarter, down by 6.
Got a lot of fans around us now, Gary.
Thompson, it is. It's really filling in here at Jackson Carlisle.
Looks like we might be on the...
Wells, a long three. Got it. He finally scored. That's his first basket. Makes it 49-46. Here comes Lewis streaking down. 4 seconds. Lewis has it blocked away there by Douglas.
We're on Lafayette side, or is this Mercer County side?
Mercer County. There's a bunch of Mercer County fans in front of us here.
It's kind of hard to tell because they all are in red and blue.
Yeah, exactly. The next game will be Lafayette, red and blue, Mercer County, red and blue. Be a lot of red and blue in the house, and that's going to be a good one, too. I think Lafayette will show up, and credit to LCA and Nate Valentine, the job he's done with Lexington Christian. They put 5 players in double figures last night, and they just thrashed Lafayette. What, they beat them by 30?
Yeah, it was 72-43, I think, was the final.
I think the Mercer-Lafayette game tonight is going to be much tighter. This is a good one, 49-46. Officials are going to blow the whistle. Actually, it's supposed to be a player off the floor. Almost cost him a technical. You know, technically, they could have called technical on that because there were 6 players on the floor. Can't have that. You only play with 5. This isn't church ball. And ball knocked away. That's going to do it for the third quarter, as Gaines thought he had maybe a half-court shot there but couldn't get it off. We go to the fourth quarter. It is Paul Dunbar, one of the top teams in the state, 49. Louisville Central, one of the top teams in their region, 46. We'll be back with the final quarter here from the Jock Sutherland Classic at Lafayette after this timeout.
All S, all P, all O, R, T, S Sports. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
Folks, this is Gary Ball, and you hear my catchphrase, soup and a sandwich. When I want the best potato soup and prime rib sandwich, I head over to Rafferty's Restaurants after my games. Check out Rafferty's 9 great locations throughout Kentucky, and all you teens, you can eat at Rafferty's before those big ball games. The open prime rib sandwich is what legends are made of. Ask Joe B. Hall, the legend himself, it's his favorite. Rafferty's a big supporter of high school sports throughout Kentucky. Rafferty's, where the special is you.
I'm not happy with my teeth. They're not straight enough.
Let me fix them for you.
No. You are not White Greer and Maggard.
I'm sort of like White Greer and Maggard. I'm local, love smiles, love to fix things.
No.
Sorta you isn't you. White Greer and Maggard, where a beautiful smile is just the beginning.
Gary Ball, William Warfield. Can you believe we're starting the fourth quarter already here, William? And another good one. It's Paul Dunbar out of Lexington, Louisville Central. They're in a 2-3 zone, 49-46. What do you expect here in this final quarter, Mr. Warfield?
Well, I think both teams have kind of conserved a little bit of energy, and I think we're going to be running this one.
And they've been playing a lot of guys, so everybody should be fresh. Darius Williams has had a great he's not in there right now, but he had a great third quarter. Didn't hardly play in the second. Vince Clark in there now, the microwave. Over to Tavion Hollingsworth. He's in great condition. You talk about great condition teams, both Central and Dunbar can flat get up and down the floor. Clark looking down low to Brown. Bad pass, and Central almost came out of the way. Diving on the floor. On the floor is Central, and that's a Terrell Davis jump ball called, and possession error will give it to Central, I believe.
That was the microwave down there on the floor along with them, and the toaster oven. There, Davis.
That's right.
You ever been to Subway and got something toasted?
Yes.
They say it's a new technology.
They got new spokesman for Subway. had to replace that guy, didn't they?
Yeah, they had to get rid of that guy.
Jared.
Terrell Davis do a good job, though.
Wells.
Uh-oh.
Brown picks it off, trying to go to Gaines, and Here comes Lewis.
That's about the third or fourth time that Louisville Central's tried to lob over Dunbar, and it hasn't worked yet.
Brown, Jordan Brown hands it to Dontel Brown. Over now to Tavion Hollingsworth. Is there a more solid player in the state than Tavion Hollingsworth? I mean, I know Carson Williams is a big brute, but Hollingsworth is so. Look at that. Goes to the basket, change it to his right hand and banked it. That's what I'm talking about. He's just so skilled around the basket.
Well, you're going to see a couple guys that play for Mercer County that.
Yeah, Faulkner and Hager maybe.
You're going to see a couple guys that will be able to do some of those things, but Hollingsworth's definitely unique.
Shot won't go there for Wells. Battling down his Southers, but pulled out of there by another 23. Darius Williams, he plays for Dunbar. 51-46 Dunbar.
I've been a big Darius Williams fan the whole season long. I think Darius Williams is really the key to this Dunbar team.
I do too. As he goes, they seem to go. He and Hollingsworth are a great 1-2 punch. I need that third punch.
Well, Lewis.
There's Brown. Brown might be that third punch. As he punches it home, and he's fouled.
Yeah, I think they got a combo. I think they got Lewis and Brown as their 3 and 4 punches there. And Kelly as well. I mean, that dude could light it up.
Going out will be Gaines, Dominic Gaines. We're going to have a timeout because Dunbar is pushed out to, and William Warfield said Dunbar just wear teams down in the fourth quarter. 6:03 to play, and they lead 53-46 over this very good Yellow Jackets team. We're going to keep it right here, William, and tell the folks about Mercer County and Lafayette coming up here at 8 o'clock from the Jackson Carlisle Gymnasium, home of the 2001 state champ. By the way, I went to the 2001 state tournament at Rupp Arena. Donnie Atkins coached the Lafayette Generals that year. That was probably the most fun. I didn't broadcast it that year. I was in banking or whatever, doing something, post office or whatever, one of my other jobs. But went to that state tournament, sat right behind the basket there, and I remember Lafayette started the postseason with like a 15-14 record. It was barely above 500, and they just caught fire at the right time. That's all it takes. You got to be playing your best basketball tournament time, and they did, and they went on to win the state championship for Donnie Atkins.
Yeah, he got such a boost at the right time, and I've seen some old footage on that, and I say it's old, but was that back 2001?
Yeah, 15 years ago.
Damon Kelly was assistant on that team, by the way.
Yep. Over at West. He was head coach here at Lafayette for a while. Now he's at West over there. Our good buddy Lee DeForest is a top assistant over there with him now. Check out the Scholastic Ball Report high school show. That'll be tomorrow at noon on the CW Lexington. Scholastic Ball Report, the Henry Clay Blue Devils, our team of the week. Bryan Station Girls Scholars, a feature on the young girl Whitney Creech from Jenkins. Feature on her. That shot will also a feature on Cordia, winning the All-A Classic. And all that tomorrow. Rick Panel swimmer to the basket. Thompson, ball knocked away. I appreciate all the folks like White Greer and Maggard that sponsor PrepSpin with you, William. And, of course, we're talking to other sponsors that are going to jump on board with us. But on my TV show, I appreciate folks like UK Sports Medicine, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and Rick Panel Swim Shop and guys like that. They make that show possible.
Yeah, we can't do it without them, that's for sure.
There's Thompson. Lines up a long three. Got it. Boy, that's a big shot. They needed that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they definitely needed that one.
That cuts it down to 4, 53-49 with 5:38 to play. Williams thought about lining one up. Instead comes out to Jordan Lewis. Kelly. Over to Tavion Hollingsworth. And remember, number 11 with the ball, he's a junior. He's back next year. He's going to be heck to deal with, isn't he, next year? To the basket, throws it up, like I said, off balance, and it goes in. I've got him with 24 now, William.
And, just thinking, down the road.
What a shot by Brandon Wells.
Look at the position Mercer County is in right now, being able to in person, scout Dunbar, because they could face them there in that first round of the Sweet 16.
Almost a steal by Central. Whistle and timeout called. 4 minutes 59 to play. Dunbar 55, Central 51 here on PrepSpin. Of course, PrepSpin will be carrying, I was talking to Daniel Brown. Yeah, Daniel Brown from Henry Clay was out at WKYT Thursday night.
Yeah.
And we were talking, and he said to tell you that he really appreciated the 11th region coverage. Like he said, because there was a lot of teams, coaches, and players that couldn't make it every night. But he said the coverage was just outstanding, and he said he hoped we can do that again. I said, well, we plan on it. So the 11th region will be back at Eastern this year after the 43rd, which is right here at Lafayette, 42nd at Scott County, and we'll have all that action. We'll have some guest commentators. I'm looking, bringing in some high school players to sit in with us on some of the broadcast, like we did last year.
No doubt about it.
Matt Rose sat in with us one game, remember?
Yep, he did.
Rebecca Cook from Franklin County sat in with us one game. She's going to sit in again this year. She's pretty good.
We need to put her on the sideline for us. She could be our little Erin Andrews.
Yes, we'll have to talk to her about that.
She's definitely got talent there.
What about this game? 55-51, 4:59 to play, and boy, Mercer County's going to pack this house here in about 30 minutes when they take on Lafayette. They're already filing in here.
Yeah, I was going to say Mercer County's already all around us right now. I think they're excited with the TV camera here and the Gary Ball here and
William Warfield in the house.
I'm just a small addition.
Hey, you make it look as good as it does in high definition.
This court looks amazing.
It does.
High def.
It does. Lewis looking for teammate, gives it up there to Darius Williams. Williams working on Thompson, lines up a long three, off the iron, no, and flying through Lewis, and they say last touch. Central thought it was last touch by Lewis, as pleading his case there is Douglas, and I think Douglas might have had a point there. I think Lewis might have knocked that one out. 55-51, 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the basketball game. There's Kelly getting the pass down low, kicks it way out to Lewis. Lewis with 4 minutes and 35 seconds here in the ball game. Lewis working with the ball, takes it in the lane. Now, well, he can handle the ball too. Talking about ball handlers, Jordan Lewis. Lewis hands it back to Williams, dumps it down to Brown. Waits, ball, what a nice job there, but waiting by Douglas and knocking that ball out of bounds so Brown can't go up with an easy layup. That's good defense right there.
Yeah, that was quick hands by Brown.
4:17 to play. Dunbar 55, Louisville Central 51. Gary Ball, William Warfield. On PrepSpin, we got Mercer County Lafayette coming up at 8 o'clock. Let's play three. Brown to Lewis. You're just tuning in Owen County. Behind a 43-point performance by Carson Williams, they beat North Laurel 75-71 in overtime. Jumper knocked down right on cue by Jordan Lewis. 57-51 Dunbar. 3:52 to play. Brandon Wells has kind of found his offensive game here in this quarter. 5 points, hit that three, then hit that circus basket underneath. Out top, Furman lines it up, and he knocks it down. Furman with 16 to lead his ball club. 57-54. It's back to one possession game. Another game looks like it's going down to the wire. As I said, I don't think either team's going anywhere, William. Hanging around. Brown down low, ball stripped away. Central's Furman's got it. He's got 3 on 2. Kicks it in the corner. Douglas lines it up and knocks it down with Williams right on him. Gets up and does some smack talk, and that's going to cost him a technical.
Yeah, he was a little bit too much of the running the mouth, and coach doesn't like that at all.
Well, he was looking right down at Williams and giving him some smack talk, and the official happened to be right there and said, you can't do that. This is high school basketball. You're not in the NBA. You can do that in the NBA, and they don't care.
Yeah.
They like smack talk in the NBA. But not too many players smack talk to LeBron, do they? Or to Anthony Davis.
No, because they come back at you.
Or Big Cuz. If you do smack talking with Cuz, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So the technical will send Williams to the line. That's a shame because the young man just knocked down a three that tied the game. Then he gets a technical foul, although he's sort of bailed out there by Williams missing that first free throw. But he knocks down the second. So lead back for Dunbar, 58-57, 3:18, and William Warfield, another game going down to the wire here at the Jock Sutherland Classic.
It's going to be a good ending, I think.
Mercer County Lafayette after this one. Lewis bounces to Tavion Hollingsworth. 3 minutes, 12 seconds. Hollingsworth, he's working there on Dominic Gaines of Louisville Central. The Yellow Jackets. Of course, what a great football program they got there under Tyrell Scruggins. Here's out of the corner, Kelly, and he rattles it in. Boy, when they need a big three, how often does Kelly do that? Quite often. 61-57. Big three by Kelly. 2:50 to play after Central had it down to a point. Justin Kelly nails the big three. Out to Furman. He's got 16, loses the handle on it to Wells. Wells working on, looks like Tavion Hollingsworth. Wells, a long, deep three, bullseye by Wells. Like I said, suddenly has found his game offensively. 8 points here in the quarter.
Ice in those veins.
61-60. Dunbar, one of the state's top-ranked teams. They've been in the top 2 or 3 all season. Right now they're currently ranked 2 behind Mercer County. And as some poll, there's so many polls out there. I know Christian County, I think, was number 1 in the Herald Leader, right?
Right. The Bluegrass Preps,
Bluegrass Preps.
One too.
Brown there battling, tapped around, and coming out of there with it is Brandon Wells. Wells, who has 8 points here, 2 threes. Out front fakes. Comes over now to Thompson. Back to Wells. Wells gives it over to Thompson. Thompson lines it up, and back of the rim, no. And Lewis there over top of Gaines to clear the rebound. Minute 46 to play. Here's Williams, and he runs into the player, and that's going to be a charge call on Darius Williams.
And the reason why they call it charge there, Darius did not try to elude the defender there. He didn't try to get around him and went straight at him. And
you're right.
That's why it was called.
Well, Central can take the lead on this trip. Minute 43 to play. Darius picked up his 3rd foul. Williams has had a great second half. He's got 15 overall. Good balance by Central. 16 down low and put up and in, and they've got the lead now on the shot by Thompson.
That was a great pass right in the needle.
13 for Thompson. 62-61. Yellow Jackets trying to upset the state's top-ranked team, Dunbar, and there's going to be a foul on the Hollingsworth drive. One poll I saw, I think it was the Litking House out of Louisville. I think they did have Dunbar number 1 in the state.
Yeah.
Polls don't really matter, but believe me, if you play for Mercer County or if you play for Dunbar, you know about that number 1 ranking.
Yeah. Well, every time you ask Mercer County if, being undefeated matters to them, they said, we're not even thinking about our record. They're thinking about that record. Come on, Gary Ball.
And Hollingsworth got them both to give the lead back to Dunbar, 63-62. A minute 17 to go here in regulation. First game was overtime, won by Owen County, 75-71. Carson Williams pumped in 43 for the running reps. Here's Wells stopping, popping, good. That's 11 for Wells, all 11 here in the second half. 65-63, Central by 2. 59.3 seconds to go here in regulation. Could we have a better back-to-back high school basketball games than what we've had here tonight with that Owen County thriller, 75-71 in overtime as they knock off that very good North Laurel team. And here's Central taking this very talented Dunbar team to the wire. They lead 65-63 with 59 seconds left.
Yes. Full timeout here called by Dunbar. It's a good timeout for Coach Jock and his team. Central giving Dunbar all they can handle right now.
It'll be Mercer County.
Would you call this an upset if Central was to pull it off?
Yes, they are ranked, though. They were ranked. The last poll had them in the top 25, and most of the polls I saw, Central is ranked. As I said, they are one of the favorites to win their region. I mean, they're in the top 5 in their region.
Yeah.
So, which is the Central in the 6th or the 7th? I'll find out here. I can look it up here. There's an app for that. Central is, if I can see here, Central's in the 7th region, so they're in the same region with Trinity.
Yeah.
So that's a tough region, but they're definitely one of the top teams in that region.
Central made it to the Sweet 16 a couple years ago.
Yeah, and had a good run in that tournament.
Yeah, they did.
Behind Doug Bibby. Of course, Bibby was a heck of a player, as you know. What a player he was. 65-63. Who do you get the hands? You get the ball. Well, you got Williams, you got Hollingsworth. You can get it in the hands of either one of them. Kelly gets it to Lewis in backcourt. Jordan. Dunbar down 2 with 55 seconds here in regulation against Louisville Central. Lewis kicks it over to Darius Williams, lines it up, and off the iron, no, there's Brown battling. Central comes out of there with it. Furman Furman in the front court for the Yellow Jackets. Throws it behind Davis, but Davis saves it. 38 seconds. 65-63. I know Mercer County probably like this Central upset, wouldn't it? Because it would kind of be almost Hollingsworth gets a steal, leads it out to Williams. Williams down low to Lewis, and it's blocked away. Whistle foul called on the block there by Thompson, but I'm not sure they got it on Thompson, William.
I don't know. That was a quick trip back down the floor off the turnover. Sorry about all the camera shaking. We got a ton of people around us right now.
Yeah, they really are. I mean, Mercer County has brought a big-time fan base in here as Mercer will take on Lafayette at 8 o'clock.
Hopefully when this one's over with, we'll have some of those fans migrate down to the lower bowl of this gym here.
Well, when your team's undefeated and ranked number 1 in the state, like I said, depending on the poll you look at, as the free throw is connected there by Jordan Lewis, you're going to bring a lot of fans. Lewis got them both. We are tied again. Are we looking at another overtime? William Moorfield, 65 all, 26 seconds. And Doug Bibby up talking to his ball club and down to 22 seconds. That's Brandon Wells, who's had a tremendous second half with 3 3-pointers. Another field goal, 11 points here in the second half, averages 15. Let's look at the balance here. I was talking about balance for Central, why they're in this game with this Dunbar team that's potentially good enough to win the state championship. You got 11 by Wells. Devin Furman has had a tremendous game, William, and as you know, he has 16. Thompson, he has a total of 13. And then you got Douglas with a total of 16. I mean, that's tremendous balance by your ball club. 4 players in double figures. As you said, you gave kudos to LCA last night, putting all 5 starters. That Carter Hendrickson is really coming into his own, isn't he?
Oh, he's going to be great, yeah.
6'5" sophomore.
Just a sophomore, yeah. He's going to be one of those stars. 2 years from now, he's going to be elevated up there, you know, and everybody's going to be talking about him.
Well, you know, you look at that team. Trey King, junior.
Right.
Kyle Rowe, freshman. Hendrickson, sophomore.
Yeah.
And the other kid, the Hall kid, he's a sophomore, right? Or junior?
Hall is a junior, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they got pretty much everybody back next year.
Yeah.
What a 43rd district it's going to be. We'll have all that action beginning 2 weeks from Monday right here at Lafayette, the 43rd District Basketball Tournament. William and I will be here with special guest celebrity commentators, and we will have all the girls and boys from the 43rd District gets underway Monday, February 22nd. I'm looking forward to that, William. Always great to work the tournaments with you. Then the 11th region will get underway the week after that.
Got a big march going on them. Got the boys and the girls Sweet 16. Of course, we do that for KHSA TV, and then going out to Vegas. I got the
Vegas 16,
college basketball out there.
Yep, I haven't got the call from Mr. Downing yet on that one.
We'll get you out there.
Douglas, and it's going to be a timeout with 11.7. Douglas had the ball. Doug Bibby saw the defense, and now he wants to set something up here. 65-65. Could we have back-to-back games in the Jock Sutherland Classic in front of this great crowd going to overtime? Owen County, if you're just tuning in, boy, you missed a dandy. 75-71. They knocked off North Laurel in overtime. And a young man by the name, remember this name, Carson Williams, 43 points.
Let me tell you something. Carson Williams will be known nationally tonight when we send that clip to SportsCenter.
Yep. Yeah,
that kid is a phenomenal athlete.
Great dunk. I'll be looking for that. What time SportsCenter's what, midnight or 11 or what is it?
Yeah, it'll come on about 11.
If that doesn't make the top 10, then
we
I'm
just
not watching
tag them and hope for it. But
I'm not watching SportsCenter. No, just kidding. Got to watch it. And the Super Bowl, who you got tomorrow night, Carolina or New England? Or I said New England. I'm sorry, Denver.
Yeah, Denver.
Sorry about that.
I'm gonna go Peyton Manning all the way on this one.
Yeah, I think Denver's going to win in a close one, like 21-17, 21-20, something like that.
Let me first off say I am a Cowboys fan.
I know.
I've always been a Cowboys fan.
Me too. How'd you know I'm a Cowboys fan?
Are you?
Yeah. And Packers because of our guy
Randall Cobb.
Because of Cobb.
But check this out.
65 all.
I want Peyton to win.
Yep.
We'll get on that after the game.
Wells has got it. Into the paint. Good pass. Baseline jumper. Off the mark. Rebounded by Williams. Darius has got time. 4 seconds. Launches from half court. Off the mark. And Brown throws it up and in. Does it count? Does it count?
Yes.
Do they count it?
Yes, it's got to count.
Official count. Let's see. Officials are leaving the floor, and Brown threw it up over his head, and Dontel knocked it down. What a ball game. What a way to end it, 67-65. What a win for Dunbar over this good Central team. What a way to end it. That might be another Sports Center right there.
I was we're going to have 2 Sports Center top 10s here.
Dontel Brown caught it. Can we get a replay on that? No, I'm just kidding. We're not using replay tonight, are we?
We don't have all that equipment hooked up here tonight. But,
so 67-65 on a Dontel Brown prayer at the end, and the win for Dunbar, 67-65. We'll come back, wrap this one up here from the Jackson Carlisle. Another back-to-back great basketball game at the high school level. William Moorfield and I called it here on the PrepSpin. We'll come back and we'll wrap this one up and tell you about Mercer County Lafayette coming up at 8 o'clock here. 67-65. Dontel Brown wins it with an over-the-head acrobatic shot in the last second for Dunbar.
All S, all P, all O, R-T, S. Pick it up at all sports. Pick it up at all sports.
In Fayette Mall on Facebook and Twitter, locally owned and operated since 1972.
It may not require a textbook, but it's filled with valuable lessons. It may not take place in a classroom, but it's an ideal environment for learning. It may not involve a diploma, but it can help prepare Kentucky's young people for life. It's high school sports. High school sports can play a critical role in a student's overall education. In fact, studies show that students that participate in high school sports are more likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in their academic lives. If you think high school sports are only about competition, think again. Better yet, think about attending a high school sporting event in your community. You'll be amazed by what you see. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education. This message presented by the Kentucky High School Athletic Association and the Kentucky High School Athletic Directors Association.
Well, Dontel Brown with a circus shot over his head, pulls it out for Dunbar Central. I tell you, we talked about in the pregame, we said this Central team's for real. Well, they're for real. I mean, they took Dunbar down to the wire, took a circus shot there. Well, what court awareness by Dontel Brown to realize he had enough time to throw that ball up, but he couldn't turn around and square up. He had to just toss it up over his head. It went in.
Yeah, that was an amazing turn of event right there as Dunbar went for the half-court shot. Brown in the right place at the right time, and I didn't even think he thought that he had a chance, but just flipped it over his shoulder, Gary Ball, and swish.
Great game, and of course Mercer County coming up as they would take on this highly touted Lafayette. At one point this season was a top 10 team in the state, but they've lost a few in a row here, and they I think will miss tonight. T.J. Downey, we talked to him earlier. I don't think he's going to play tonight, so that'll be one key ingredient missing. But they still got Harrison Lane, Ross Jenkins, Carpenter, and Green. Ross Jenkins, guys like that. So I think it should be an interesting game. Mercer County, of course, will come in 24-0, trying to keep that perfect record intact.
I tell you what, we're going to do a pregame show on the next broadcast, which is the Mercer County Lafayette game. But you guys need to get on there right now. Get ready for that game. Everybody in the state's going to watch this one.
Tavion Hollingsworth led the way, 26 in that one. Darius Williams with 15, 16 for Furman. As we said, great balance for Central. Thompson 13, Douglas 13, and also Wells with 11. All those in the second half. Well, great job again, William Warfield. We'll have Mercer County Lafayette coming up here in a bit. First two games, Owen County in overtime, 75-71 over North Laurel when Carson Williams had 43, and it was Tavion Hollingsworth with 26 to lead Dunbar in a dramatic 67-65 win over Louisville Central on a last-second shot over the back of his head by Dontel Brown. They win it. We'll come back with the final game of the three. It will be a good one. Mercer County undefeated, #1 in the state in some polls, against Lexington Lafayette when we return here to the